Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would like to take this opportunity, just moments before our show begins, to welcome you to the past, the present, and the future. This weekend we celebrate the freedom of flight. The beautiful Connecticut countryside is our stage. The endless sky is our background. The world's finest air show entertainers are our performers. Well, you came here for the 65th anniversary of Pratt & Whitney, and I want you to now listen to some of the sounds that made this company famous.
Ground crews, air traffic controllers, and air show organizers await the arrival of some 75 airplanes scheduled to take part this coming weekend in a two-day air show marking the 65th anniversary of Pratt & Whitney. The sky is overcast with widely scattered showers and 10 miles visibility at Rentschler Airport, allowing normal flight operations to take place here. But heavy rain in the Middle Atlantic states, in the Ohio Valley, and across New York State is responsible for grounding many of the aircraft that are expected in today. These are aerobatic, experimental, and antique airplanes that only fly under visual flight rules. En route from all over the country, they sit at airports in Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York, waiting for the weather to improve. The Junkers Trimotor is an exception among the antique planes. Its restoration includes state-of-the-art communication and navigation systems that enable it to make its way to East Hartford on schedule, helped along by 3 Pratt & Whitney Wasp radial engines. By 5 in the afternoon, the weather that has encircled the Hartford area for the past 2 days begins moving in. Visibility drops to 7 miles and rain shower activity increases. At 7 o'clock Thursday night, fewer than 10 airplanes are on the ground at Rentschler Airport.
Well, the weather coming in today was a little less than optimum what we'd like to come into, but the weather kept the show down, or the arrival today. We had to stay down below the clouds to stay VFR, but other than that, it was no problem getting into Hartford.
We really had to work at finding our way around through the rain showers to get here.
We're a little disappointed in the weather. 5 years ago, the second day of the performance, we got rained out, and we're hopeful. We're real hopeful that the ceiling's going to lift and we'll be able to get our jumps in all weekend and really do a great job.
Overnight, the ceiling falls to 900 feet, and at 8 in the morning, visibility is 1.5 miles. Under these conditions, only planes equipped with instrument landing systems are permitted to fly into Rentschler. Light rain and fog persist through the morning. Airplanes continue to arrive, but the National Weather Service is forecasting heavier rain for the region. And there is increasing concern over the probability that many of the performing planes will not be able to make it in today.
The military airplanes and the commercial airliners that we have like the 747 that's to be coming in. They can fly in this weather. Of course, they're used to flying in this weather, and they'll fly the approach into here, and they get in okay. But right now, the only thing we're worried about is the weather improving enough for the performers to get in. Most of the airplanes that are coming into the show are flown in good weather. That is, flown when you got blue skies or high clouds, things like that. A lot of the planes, the warbirds for one thing, which are priceless. In some cases where 2 or 3 of the entire model is all that's left in the world. And
Frank Kingston Smith is the announcer of Air Show 90 and the producer of the flying portion of the air show.
All of the airplanes will be able to make it in. We have planes coming from all over the country. We have them coming from California and from down in Florida and Virginia and Oklahoma. And matter of fact, we have one plane. I can't say the plane is coming from Anchorage. The pilot's coming from Anchorage, Alaska. The plane has been flown to Philadelphia. And with the weather the way it has to get better or enough better that they can eyeball it. That is, they have to have 3 miles of visibility and 1,000-foot ceiling in order to fly legally under visual flight rules. So we're hoping that this weather is going to improve and they'll all get here.
We've had pretty low ceilings and rain all week long, and this is press day and promotions and media day, and it has not allowed anyone to fly so far. So we're disappointed in that, and we're hoping for some better weather for the weekend.
Among the airplanes flying in for static display is a curious-looking modification of a Boeing 720. Pratt & Whitney Canada transformed this old workhorse into a flying engine test bed and uses it for developing and testing experimental turboprop and turbofan engines. At 6:15 Friday evening, the largest of the static display airplanes materializes out of the rain and fog. For a few moments, seeming like some incredible manifestation of an airborne ocean liner. Rentschler Tower reports a slight improvement over this morning's conditions. A 1,200-foot ceiling with 3 miles visibility. But rain continues, and a revised forecast for Saturday threatens that thunder showers may linger across southern New England. Just 3 hours before the scheduled opening of Air Show 90. And more than half the performing airplanes are still trying to work their way to East Hartford.
The last I got from the forecaster at Bradley was 1,003. I think we're going to beat that, and he told me he'd have a better update at the 10 o'clock, so I'll get that while Frank's briefing.
Okay.
1003 till 1800, but I think we can beat it.
Yeah, I think it's we got a little bit of a breeze picked up, and that's a good sign around here. It starts to move the fog out, and the sun gets higher, and it'll burn it off. So keep your fingers crossed. Because again, we still have a lot of acts that would like very much to get in here. Now, you in your kit have, before we do that, I have a number of color photographs. And the first one I want you to look at would be the approach end of the show runway with the entire factory complex to the right side. The problems we've had are primarily to do with the weather. It's with the low ceilings and the rain we had yesterday. Rain moved out, a little fog this morning. That's starting to lift. The ceiling, the overcast is thinning out, so we can see light patches in the overcast. The planes that were stuck in western New York are now in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and are well on their way, and we think we're going to have a complete show today. Great, keep your fingers crossed.
After suiting up at 7 this morning in colorful hats and t-shirts, 1,250 volunteers have been keeping their fingers crossed too. And keeping spirits high. Setting up concession stands. Taking care of dozens of chores that are needed to keep the grounds safe and clean. Guiding visitors to and from the shuttle buses and the airfield. Helping some 200,000 folks enjoy and move safely through the aircraft displays and exhibits. An Air Force F-15 Eagle comes in right on schedule. But with the show running late, its arrival demonstration unexpectedly provides the opening aerial performance of Air Show 90.
Like a homebound angel, I'm flying to you in a big metal bird. I'm riding in the sky, 'cause it's been such a long time.
I really appreciate everybody for cooperating by moving back away from the taxiway. We've got to get these planes in. I understand we just got the call that the The Grumman Cats are on their way in from Kalamazoo. They spent the night in New York, and that means that we are just about complete. Only Ron Shelley, who is coming up from Midland, Virginia, has not yet arrived. These planes would have liked to have been here yesterday, but because of the weather, they had to wait till today to do it. This is why we are actually holding the show. The actual start of the show is at 2 o'clock today, and I guarantee it's going to be worth the wait. And look who is overhead, guys. Look who's right here. It looks to me like, yes it is, it's Ron Shelley.
This homebound angel will find their own heaven back in your arms again. I'll be in paradise once more.
We just got word that we have 2,600 foot ragged, which means that we got enough ceiling for the jumpers, so we have got ourselves one heck of a show.
We had to change plans a bit because of the low ceiling, so we're going to simplify the jump a bit. We'll be going out separately and pulling our chutes within 5 seconds after we get the door. But you know, rain, the clouds a bit low, but that's no problem. It's going to be a great day. I think I don't mind leaving the plane so much. It's going to feel good. But it's always a shocker to see so many people watching down there.
As the jump plane approaches from the right side, final steering corrections are being made so that the jumpers can come in and line up about 250 feet along the line out in front of you. Let's watch for our jumpers to come into the air. And the first of our jumpers is away. California Aero Circus Parachute Team and Team Eagle. You give them a big round of applause. Now they can hear you. Now they're right in close to you here. Well, now that the Tomcat has your undivided attention, and the United States Navy take great pride in presenting this flight demonstration of the world's best total fighter, the Navy F-14 Tomcat. What you will see today is a demonstration of the Tomcat's ability to pursue and outmaneuver a hostile opponent. The aircraft is not a special demonstration aircraft, but one of 15 operational fighters flown daily by Fighter Squadron 33. The Tomcat is manned by a crew of 2, the pilot and radar intercept officer. The pilot flies the plane, the RIO manages the weapon system, navigation, communications, and electronic warfare equipment. Our demonstration pilot is the commanding officer of the starfighters of the F-33, Commander Dale Snort Snodgrass. Our radar intercept officer is called the best in the Navy, Lieutenant Commander Dirk Gumbo Hebert. The Tomcat, built by Grumman Aerospace, is powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney TF-30 augmented turbopads. Tomcat is the safest and best tactical aircraft in the world. Its sophisticated weapons control system can track 24 targets individually and launch and guide missiles at any 6 of those targets simultaneously. Its variable geometry wing optimizes lift at any airspeed and altitude, enabling it to outturn almost every frontline fighter in close and air-to-air combat. From the right, the F-14 is accelerated and will be approaching at 650 miles per hour, approximately 1/3 of its maximum speed capability. You wanted speed? You've got it. Tomcat is now approaching from the left for a pop-up brake to landing. This maneuver is utilized to slow the aircraft and set the landing configuration. But this brake is different. Watch as the Tomcat rolls right and turns left. This is the Blue Angels tuck under brake. The Tomcat returns at 450 miles per hour to execute a 360-degree level turn with the wings at full sweep. In this configuration, the Tomcat takes on the shape of a delta, and the large flat central surface between the engines, the designers call a pancake, serves as an airfoil or lifting body, helping the wings to create the lift needed to sustain the turn.
Well, it was great. I think we went a little all out today because we thought the weather would be worse than it was, and the ceilings picked up a little bit. It's about 1,800 feet overcast, but that allowed us to do the low show. And I think with the weather the way it is, it allows the vapor, the moisture in the air, is enough of it that when we do a 7.5 or 8G turn, the moisture just squeezes right off the wings and the airplane tends to disappear. Just when you get over the top and you're about to go in the clouds, you really have to pull the airplane back down so that you don't go in the clouds and get disoriented, and so you can keep the flight line in sight. But you can see the crowd, it's a lot bigger, I think, than a lot of people expect. There's a lot of people here today.
Pete Vandersloot on the right side. As the throttle goes forward, the smoke is turned on and the NA-50 lurches into the air. Pete is currently the most in-demand flight instructor in the Northeast for high-performance propeller-driven fighter aircraft. He gives aerobatic, transition, and formation instruction and is acknowledged to be one of the best, and that's why he's here this weekend. As Pete accelerates once again over here to the left side, getting right down to about 50 feet. Let's let the airplane come up to about 160 miles an hour. And the nose comes up. Now watch, he's going to tilt his head back. He wants to pick up the horizon, and we've got a pretty good horizon now. And the other runway, the other end of the runway. And rolls the airplane around. That's the Immelman turn. That's a half loop followed by a half roll. That's a maneuver that supposedly Count von Immelman created back in World War I, and nobody could stay behind him. Nobody knew that much about energy management. And we will be flying, I believe, the T6 tomorrow, and it's a slightly different show. Here's Pete Vandersloot. Here he is right here. Let's give him a great big wave. He can't hear you applaud, but he can sure see you wave. Jim Parker out on the right side. Jim Parker to Warren, Vermont. As Jim comes back over the top and gives you a series of high-rate aileron rolls that Jim calls the Parker House roll. Corkscrewing across the sky. Now he goes negative as he pushes the stick forward and starts an outside loop. Up at the top right now, about 1,800 feet above the ground, down comes the nose, and he says, all I'll do is I'll let the airplane accelerate and snap it once and twice, and I like it so much we'll go 3 times around, the triple snap. You have your cameras ready because you're going to see this maneuver called the Lamshabak. Now this is one of these things that I said, it looks like somebody took the airplane by the wingtip and flung it across the sky. As he lifts the nose, he gets the power back. As the airplane slows down, he'll start with an outside snap. Now watch this. Look at the, holy cow, wait a minute. Which way is up? Which way? I want to go this way. No, that way. No, this way. No, wait a minute. I'm going straight up. The airplane's just hanging there, sort of twisting around. The nose comes down and he's flying once again. Did you like that? You like that? Good. No idea of which way which is until the airplane stabilizes. Isn't that something? He said, you think that was big? Wait until you see this. Right out at center point here, just to the right of center, we have two poles. They are 16 feet high, 40 feet apart. There's ribbon stretched between them. Jim Parker out on the right side says, I'm going to cut the bottom ribbon with the tail of the airplane. That's easy enough, or is it? He's going to have the airplane upside down when he does it. Under the top ribbon to cut the bottom ribbon. Jim Parker from Warren, Vermont. I want you to watch him. That was the hard part. Now comes the easy part. Jim is going to cut the other ribbon. Back from the right side, Jim Parker looks now about 3/4 of a mile away. Down on the runway at 160 miles an hour. Rolls the airplane upside down, right side up, upside down, 1.5 roll. Before you, Jim Parker from Warren, Vermont. Give him a great big wave. Go ahead, everybody. How about that? This is the Coors Light Silver Bullet Jet Team. You like this little airplane? It weighs just 432 pounds empty, measuring just 12 feet long with a 17-foot wingspan. It's powered by an Ames Industries micro-turbo about the size of a sewing machine, generating 200 pounds of thrust. It can fly at 300 miles an hour, yet lands at the same speed you can drive on I-91. Bobby said we just don't have the ceiling to do some of these vertical maneuvers, and the ratty ceiling is causing problems as both of the jets now at opposite ends of the airport turning around. They turn the smoke on as they're off the airport so they can see each other.
With Saturday's aerial performances well underway, the uncertainty of the past 2 days was fading until the weather changes again. Bob Bishop and Dave Hoover managed to do their complete low show. And since it's obvious that the air show audience is prepared to wait out the rain, the performing pilots are ready and eager to keep the show in the air. Craig Hosking does his part and flies a complete aerial performance, including his one-of-a-kind inverted takeoff and landing.
Now he's got it upside down on the runway. Craig Hosking from Cinema Air in the Bose Double Take Pit Special.
Manfred Radius is able to begin his sailplane performance. But rain forces him to abandon it about 2 minutes into the routine.
Boy, we are working with some real strange air out here today, friends. It looked like the stuff was breaking up. Now we got a shower moving through. We had a patch of blue sky. It looks like we got good weather, or better weather out to the west of us, but meanwhile, we got this rain shower to work with. And we'll just continue with it.
John Lilberg, a Pratt & Whitney project engineer, waits out the rain and then takes his Extra 300 aerobatic airplane through a complete presentation.